Derek Zoolander,
Yes.
Valentina Valencia, Interpol, Global Fashion Division.
Fashion police, we're clean, lady. Go harass somebody else.
Besides, I'm out of fashion.
I need to talk to you. It has to do with the death of Justin Bieber.
His death is not my problem.
I can use the database at Interpol to help you find your son.
A clip from Zoolander 2. Owen Wilson, Ben Stiller. Gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Hi. Thanks for having us.
Well, it's a pleasure. And I'm just realising that I was saying it's Zoolander 2, but the poster behind you says Zoolander number 2. Is that just like a poster joke, or is that actually... What's the name of the movie?
Well, it's Zoolander number 2, and that's sort of a play off of the Chanel.
I guess we never really decided what we were going to call the movie.
So you're not sure what the name of the film is?
Well, we started with Zoolander 2, then we thought about Two-Lander, and then we thought 200-lander because the 2 in front of the zoo looked like a 200-lander.
Yeah.
And then we saw this Zoolander number 2 poster.
Zoo 2.
Yeah, and then we thought that was a funny poster, so we thought, all right, let's do that poster. But in the movie, it says Zoolander 2, so I guess it doesn't matter, ultimately. It's just another Zoolander movie.
Okay. I don't think I've done an interview about a movie where I'm not quite sure what the title is with the guys who are in it.
Who aren't able to clear up the confusion either.
Two-lander, the sequel.
And given, Ben, that you produced and wrote and directed and...
Co-wrote, yeah.
Co-wrote and co-starred, you might have come up with a title by now. But
I know. I keep on feeling like we're still working on the movie, but it's done. I was working on it up until the moment we were showing it.
It feels like we're still working on it because... I guess we are kind of still working on it. As we were saying, we were just at Abbey Road doing that.
That was fun.
In character.
So you've been at Abbey Road today?
We went to Abbey Road today, yeah.
We
jammed with Eddie Izzard.
Yeah.
On the Lady Madonna piano.
Yeah, which Derek was very excited because he didn't realize that Madonna had recorded there.
Apparently... She did express yourself there.
Yes.
Did you do the whole zebra crossing thing?
We did.
Did you write your names on the wall outside?
No, we didn't do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't see where that was.
If Derek and Hansel could write, they probably would.
Yeah.
So the genesis of this movie is an interesting one. Just when you announced it, I think the first time that we heard that there was going to be one was it the Paris Fashion Show when you guys just...
I think that was the first time that we were officially saying the movie was happening. Yeah, even though we didn't actually say it, but that was our way of announcing the movie.
Can you just explain precisely what happened?
Sure. There was a Valentina women's show in Paris in March of last year, and Derek and Hansel show up in the show at the end of the show. Close to the finale of the show.
Unannounced.
It was a big surprise. We kept it a secret. We planned it for a while. It took a while to figure out how we were going to do it and who was going to do it with us. And we had dreamed about doing it with an iconic fashion brand. We didn't think Valentina would actually say yes, but they did.
And what are you wearing?
I was wearing pajamas that they say you can also... are suitable for the bedroom or a night out on the town. And I kept them.
I had a suit and like a cape kind of coat. And
we had these overcoats that we sort of threw off, and that really sent the crowd to the next level.
I was going to say, the reaction was what, sort of immediately an ovation, or was it like stunned amazement, then they realized what they're getting at?
I mean, it was
a discovery that kind of happened as we were going down. I mean, we didn't know. We were kind of, we were a little bit. I was definitely feeling the
I felt like it was pandemonium.
Yeah.
I don't know if that sounds.
Well, it got to something as we started to walk down. People were like, "What's going on?" And because it was really a surprise, I think, and that was one of the reasons why it was successful. I think was because nobody really had any idea it was going to happen. And then as we got down closer to the end of the runway, people were, oh, wow. And then they started standing up and clapping and taking pictures and laughing.
Yeah. And were you instantly back in character after all those years? Was it like putting on an old pair of jeans, or a kind of a new smart pair of jeans, but obviously was it dead easy?
A new smart pressed pair
of course
tight jeans. It was, we had been in prep for doing the movie for a while at that point. We were about to start shooting the movie, and we're shooting some tests and things like that week. So we'd just been like in the mode of getting back into it. And but walking out there, not knowing how people would react, if they would even care or remember, really there was no guarantee that anybody was going to actually care.
Would we be walking out to just a polite smattering of applause?
If that.
If that.
Yeah.
Or would it be just sort of a kind of dead-eye look? But it really was like you felt kind of sort of like a waves
energy,
of laughter and energy.
And that ovation that you got then in Paris when you did the runway, in comparison with how the movie one was received first time, now it's a cult movie. Everyone is really looking forward to this movie, very excited about the new movie coming out. But when you launched first time, it wasn't to gales of approval, was it?
No, it wasn't, and and that's what made it sort of. Well, that's why we didn't do a sequel, because there wasn't a demand, because it just sort of did okay. And then over the years, it seemed to build this, like you said, cult following.
When did you realize that you'd made a big movie, and a movie that everyone wanted to talk about and would quote and would shout across the street?
Well, the Valentino is where I kind of, it seems like there's a real anticipation based on this. But over the years in traveling, especially in Europe or even in like South America, it seemed to be, of the movies that I've worked on, the one that people would really come up and quote lines from. And I would kind of share that with you, and you'd say, it
was a gradual thing. I don't think there was a moment when I realized, it just felt like over the years people would ask about it, or then I see people reference Blue Steel, or here and there somebody would email a picture of somebody where, it says, they're doing Blue Steel. Or somebody like a sports announcer would say it, and so it felt like the movie was having a life. And then it just eventually the studio was saying to us, hey, we really want to do this if you want to do it. And it took a while though to actually figure out how to do it and get everybody together. And
were they coming to you sort of first, or was it?
No, it was kind of. It was a gradual thing, because we started in 2005. We wrote a draft. That was a totally different story, and never really went forward with it. And then in 2010, we wrote this draft, the basis of what this movie is. And then it didn't get off the ground back in 2010.
Why would it not? Given that by 2010 it was a huge movie, and everyone was doing the face,
right.
And why would it not go off the ground then?
I think movies are hard to get off the ground, no matter what. I don't think people understand the process of getting a movie made. For either a studio movie or an independent movie, people work years and years to try to, to get the financing together for this kind of
cast. Also.
Yeah, getting the cast, getting the figuring out how to make it, the budget, all of it kind of coming together, and the momentum of it. But weirdly, I felt the momentum start to grow even past 2010. That's what I started to feel, was that there was more of an awareness even in the last 5 years.
So does that make? If the reports are right, you actually had to chip in yourself to get the last movie made. Does the fact that all that has now happened and that Zoolander is now this big project make the filming of this one, Zoolander number 2, was more fun? Was it more relaxed?
The first one was fun at times, but it was also was not the easiest experience too, because of those reasons. I don't think the studio really understood the movie. Not that we did either, but they definitely didn't. And
at least you all agreed on a title.
Yeah.
But the second time around, the studio was much more receptive and got what the movie was, and that made it a much easier experience and a more fun experience on that level, for sure.
Can you tell us a bit of the story that we're going to see in Zoolander number 2?
It's a very complicated, intricate
intentionally
plot.
Convoluted, one might say.
An overview, then.
Okay, well, basically, 15 years have gone by, and Derek and Hansel have disappeared from the limelight. There's been a tragedy involving Derek Zoolander Center for Kids Who Can't Read Good and want to learn to do other stuff good, too. And Derek's life has changed. Hansel's life has changed.
Was a possible title at one point, too.
What, the name of that school was the title of the movie? At least it's got 2 at the end.
So they are. Derek's in reclusion, living up in the mountains of extreme northern New Jersey. Hansel's living with a group of people that he's in a relationship with in Malibu, in an uncharted part of Malibu. And they're out of it, and they get an invitation to come back to a fashion event from Alexandria Atoz, who's sort of the new fashion doyenne, the person who's taken the place probably of Mugatu, Jacobin Mugatu, played by Will Ferrell in the first one, who has gone to jail after trying to assassinate the Prime Minister of Malaysia. I could get more intricate.
Okay, no, that's fine.
That actually does remind me, though, of one time I was in Malaysia. I went to go see in Kuala Lumpur the Grand Prix, and there was some gala dinner that we attended, and the Prime Minister of Malaysia was there, and I got a photograph.
Did that really happen, Owen, or were you just in your room tripping on peyote for the last 6 days and you just thought you did?
Well,
really?
Yeah, now that you mention it.
It literally sounded like there
had been
some monologue.
No, but I think I sent it to you.
You did. Picture. He sent me a picture of himself with the Prime Minister of Malaysia. Hot button issue.
That whole sending of pictures, though, makes this a zeitgeist movie again, doesn't it? Because everyone is taking pictures, and when they're taking pictures, they're often doing the Zoolander look, aren't they? They're doing Blue Steel. Now is the moment for this film.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that Derek existed before the selfie existed, and it's hard to think of him not being attracted to his own camera phone. So it felt like in doing the movie, we had to acknowledge that and make that a part of who Derek is.
We've got a list of questions here which I just wanted to mention before we finish from our Facebook page. Sid Walker says, looking back, guys, how special was it to get David Bowie to appear in the first Zoolander?
Well, it was when it happened, when Ben told me that David Bowie was going to be in the movie, it was exciting, and I think I was a little bit, how did we get him?
I don't know.
It seemed like such a kind of lucky thing. But the day that we worked with him, just a really funny, cool guy. And then, with the recent sad news, just feel lucky to have met him.
Yeah, I think it was very special for us to be able to have him in the movie. And even before his passing, it was always something that I just couldn't believe that it had come together the way it did, so I feel fortunate too.
Just a brief word on the cameos then in this movie, because there's a lot of people know, I think, about some of the characters that are in, but what can you tell us without giving too much away?
There's a bunch of different people who show up in the movie. I try to keep them a surprise.
A bunch of different people, isn't that helpful for me?
Justin Bieber, people know he's in the film. I guess people are aware that...
Karl Lagerfeld.
No, he's not in the movie, Owen. Owen keeps saying Karl Lagerfeld is in the movie, and he's not. We wanted him in, and we weren't able to get him.
Well, I met him in Paris, and... he would have been good. He has a good look.
Yeah, he had said yes, and then you met him in Paris and something happened.
Okay, maybe for the next one.
Yes.
Guys, we're out of time. Thank you very much indeed.
Okay, great
Owen and
talking
Ben,
to
thank
you.
you very much.
Okay.